This is How Do I Do This? The show for anyone asking, is it just me or is this a lot? Have you ever walked into your parents' house and thought, there's way too much shit in here? I know I have. And if you knew my mom or you've been in my parents' house, this is a battle I'm going to probably deal with a lot. She was a bibliophile, as evidenced by the shelves of sagging bookcases, Christmas decoration aficionado that would make Clark Griswold jealous, and a ton of Elvis memorabilia and Gone with the Wind memorabilia. So today we are talking about what to do with all the stuff. How you're going to learn how do you handle the overwhelm when you walk in and it's your loved one's memories, but it's not necessarily your memories. The truth about what's actually valuable versus sentimental, and how to start those hard conversations if you're fortunate enough to still have your parents alive. And today, joining me is Sara McKavarich. She is the owner of Certified Estate Sales here in Atlanta, and she helps people navigate this hard question of what to do with all the shit and stuff and heirlooms with empathy and honesty and a little bit of humor. So Sara, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
So we have a tradition here that we have tea out of my grandmother's tea set.
I see that. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
What did you choose to drink today?
I chose to drink some sparkling water in lieu of tea.
Yeah.
So we don't have an over-caffeinated Sara, but
that's good. And I chose the hibiscus. So before we get into all the details, and you have already been such a help to me to say we have a huge doll collection. What do I do with like 300 dolls? And we're just now beginning to think about those things. So before we jump in there to help other people too, kind of walk me through your story. How did you get started doing estate sales? I love following you on Instagram and seeing all the treasures you find because they are treasures, and you can tell some is so special to people. So what made you get into this line of work?
Absolutely. We all love stuff, as Americans especially.
Yeah.
Stuff is a big business. But I got into this unknowingly around the age of 19. My aunt tragically passed away. And between the ages of 19 and 31, I was tasked with being the executor or helping out at least with 4 different estates in my family.
Wow.
What a lot of people don't understand is that executorship can be inherited. So that is a task that you should always talk to your loved ones about, what to expect. Because just because you might not be close with a relative doesn't mean that your other relative wasn't. Wow. And so that is passed on. And so if, for instance, when my aunt passed away, she was the executor for my uncle and my great aunt. Well, that was inherited after she passed away. So that is something that, again, everybody should be on the same page with. But I got a lot of experience with that. And it was a mix of that and then a right place of right time type of thing. I was working for Ticketmaster Live Nation, and after the merger, I was given the choice of moving to LA or taking a handsome severance. So I took the severance, and my best friend and next door neighbor's brother had just started this company called Certified Estate Sales in 2010. And I knew a lot about stuff. And so I decided to take a stab at it, and he was like, wow, you're great.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. So
you obviously love it.
I absolutely love it, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's great. So do you, in the years you've been doing this work, do you have a story that really stands out to you, whether it's about a certain collection or a person, or is there anything that just, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of wild stories, but what can you share with us that won't embarrass anybody?
Won't embarrass. PG-13.
PG-13, yeah.
I would say I am semi-known for this home in Alpharetta.
Okay.
And it was in 2020. I call it the Hoarder House. The Hoarder House. There was probably $1.4 million worth of stuff in this house. And the husband passed away. And they had 2 homes with the same numerical address, 1 street away from each other. They lived in one home, and they hoarded in the other. and they're what we would consider high-end hoarders.
Okay.
When I say high-end hoarders, I mean they had 2 of everything. There were 4 rooms full of fly fishing stuff, and he never once went fly fishing. He just liked to do the fly fishing.
And that is an expensive hobby.
Mm-hmm. She loved shoes, Chanel, Hermes, and jewelry. And so I walked in and I was stepping on Hermes scarves, 53,
makes me cry just hearing it.
chambered and loaded firearms, dog shit, bottles of prescription drugs, mothballs. It was awful. COVID could have started in this house.
Wow.
It was so disgusting. But it was a very unique situation, and we shut the sale down on Tuesday, March 11th, when COVID really hit.
Wow. So I imagine from like that sounds like probably a wild big job. And
it was nuts. It was nuts. It was batshit crazy. And
right.
I will never do a sale like that again.
Yeah.
It was the best in many ways and also the worst. I mean, again, COVID could have started there. The black mold odor is, I was changing clothes 3 times a day.
Yeah. So you've seen it all. And so I think, you know, people who are in your line of work, you know, I talk about my mom and all of her books. And my dad and I have joked because we've started, you know, doing what I call low emotional lifting of things that really I have no emotional connection to. He doesn't, you know, where can we donate it? What can we toss? But then there will come a point in time where there's this huge collection of books and it's almost embarrassing. So should people ever feel embarrassed about calling somebody like you? No,
absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh my God. I when I say I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Again, PG-13.
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Just
even the stuff that might not be PG-13, I imagine that people leave around.
We've had ATF show up twice. I mean, we have seen it all.
Okay.
Some of the craziest stuff. Well, think about it. I mean, even people love anything and everything, and you might never know what your parents were into until they're gone.
Yeah.
Or even then, we might know what your parents were into. You might.
Right. So I imagine is there a certain kind of shielding that you might do for family members if they're really having a hard time? Like, tell me how you walk people through when things are very emotionally charged, whether it's with other relatives or, you know, I'm sure you have a lot of empathy that you have to exhibit because yes, it's things to you. You have a job to get done, but to them, it's the last bits of their loved ones. So how do you walk that line?
Right. Every situation is unique.
Okay.
Every situation. And I call it the 5 Ds of an estate sale.
Okay.
Death, debt, downsize, divorce, and demolition. We work mostly in downsizing or when maybe your spouse passes away and you're in a 5,000 square foot home. No need to keep up with that much stuff.
Right.
Or you just can't bear to be there anymore. Too many memories. I'll do 2 divorces a year, which that in its own right is emotionally charged. And then death. Yeah. When that's the estate is handling the house and neither or any of the people that were living in the home are alive. It is something that all of us are going to face or our loved one will face in our life. Whether we like it or not, it's a part of life. So it is not fun to talk about, but it is a business and it is real.
Yeah.
It is real. So when I go into a home, I first am trying to gather the evidence, the information. What's going on here? What emotional state are they in? Did the husband or wife pass away? How long ago? Typically, if a wife passes away for whatever reason, the husband usually is ready to start moving forward within a year. If it's
meaning with
stuff,
okay.
Just moving on. If it's the other way around, typically the wife takes a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sometimes 2 years, sometimes 5 years, sometimes a decade. It's women tend to hold on.
Yeah.
That's our nature.
Yeah.
But every situation's different. So we figuring out what they are dealing with. Are they emotionally attached to the books? Are they emotionally attached to the house? Are the children pushing them to move? Who else is involved? What is the driving force behind this? Just because somebody passes doesn't mean they're ready to move on.
Yeah.
And you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning even now, in a few weeks it will be a year, but screw the timeline, screw the year.
Right.
I mean, there are some mornings I wake up and it feels like yesterday, by the way the trees look, because she passed in the fall and the light hits just right. And, I'm not ready to move on from some things or some ideas
and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's no good or bad time to do this. I will say it is better to have some type of consultation with a professional sooner rather than later.
So at least maybe can start thinking about what your timeline might be.
I find that the biggest mistake families make are donating large amounts of things or collections, books, the entire kitchen, clothes, shoes, accessories. They take it all to Goodwill. The sale I just did, that was the case. I walked in a 6,000 square foot home to do a consultation. He was like, yeah, I need to do an estate sale for my parents. They're moving into assisted living. And there wasn't enough to do an estate sale. And when I told him this, his mouth just dropped open. He was like, what do you mean? I've had 3 dumpsters here. We've taken 3 truckloads to Goodwill. I said, yeah, that's why.
So when you say there's not enough, explain that to me and to people listening. What does enough look like that it makes sense to have an estate sale?
An estate sale is when you sell everything but the house itself.
Okay.
The best estate sales are when the house is full.
Oh, okay.
And when you walk in and it is a full home, there's kitchen cabinets are full. And we stage the kitchen pretty well.
Sure.
We'll display the plates and do a little vignettes and settings on the tablescapes and all that. But people, I don't know what it is. There's some psychological effect with estate sales.
Okay.
More stuff sells, and it sells for more money when the home is full.
That is wild. You are blowing my mind, because it almost tells me now that minus some things that because my mom, she loved fine china. And when I say loved fine china, she has, the last I counted, 22 sets, service of 12.
Oh, wow. That's a good collection.
It's a great collection. And there is one set I would like because it corresponds with my grandmother's china and my china. But other than that, and, my siblings might be interested, but there's going to be, my mom loved dishes and she loved cookie jars. If she has one cookie jar in her house, she probably has 75. One of her favorite gifts she ever received from my husband was he found this massive Spode Santa Claus Christmas jar that is probably 2 feet high. And
that's a good find.
Yeah, and she loved it. But just a lot of that stuff. So what I'm hearing from you is, even if we think this has no value, the estate sale overall will go better the fuller the home is.
You have to have something to draw people in.
Okay.
And you never know what that is. It could be that. It could be the Spode. It could be a cookie jar collection. Somewhere, especially in Atlanta, there's somebody else that collects that same thing. Some people call it hoarding. I call it collecting. But
my mom called it collections, because I tried to work with her a lot. And, in the last 10 years when she wasn't in good health, I was like, Mom, let's go through some stuff. And she said, these are my collections. And when I'm dead and gone, it's going to be yours to deal with. And you probably aren't going to want it, but it's my stuff and you're not touching my stuff. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. One of my favorite clients, it was in Sandy Springs a few years ago. Her mother, the mom, both the parents had passed away. But she had gone through and written death notes, her words, not mine, of pretty much everything. And some of the notes would say, they were on different colored Post-it notes. They were all folded up in these little tiny squares. And some of them said, bought at an estate sale, no effing clue what this might be worth. Some of them said, I got this at a yard sale down the street. Don't let your Aunt Myra find it. They were hilarious. But she left little notes on everything. I mean, thousands of items, just so her kids knew what to do. They still were like, we don't know what to do with any of this shit. Right. And there was a lot, but it did help. It helped me to navigate where she placed her sentimental value, and where the kids placed theirs. It wasn't the same.
Right.
And just because your mother had sentimental value to something doesn't mean that you do, or your siblings do.
Right.
And so that is a big part of what I do when I first walk in, is find, where's the sentiment? I can't put a price on sentiment.
Right.
It could be, I could tell you that Spo jar would sell for $10,000, but it's not going to bring that memory back.
Right.
So there is, that's a big part of our job.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like, too, in a lot of ways, not unlike practicing law, you have to mediate and balance a lot of competing interests and personalities. And so the role you play is so valuable. And I'm thinking a lot, everybody knows the Facebook marketplace and that one neighbor who can do you a real good garage sale, but they don't do what you do.
There's a big difference. Yeah. Huge difference.
Yeah.
I am the balance between the estate, whether that's you all picking up and moving to another city, moving to a bigger house, smaller house, or your mother passed away, and I'm representing her legacy and your family and the general public. And that is, you get that with garage sales, yard sales, all that. But a yard sale is when the stuff's in the yard. The garage sale's kind of in the house, but not really.
Right.
An estate sale, again, is selling everything but the house itself. It is done by a company. We are fully insured. And this is my full-time job. This is literally what I deal with stuff for a living. And it is the advertising involved, the marketing, the photography, the amount of work it takes to get people to the sale. It's hard. It's a lot of work. And it's a gamble. I cannot guarantee that people are going to show up. I can't guarantee they're going to spend money at our sale. I can't change the weather. I can't change school schedules. I can't. Yeah. There are so many variables that go into a successful estate sale that luckily we've been in business for over 15 years and
so we're refined the will.
Right. Yeah. I know the weekends that are, I don't care what kind of estate sale it is. There's 5 weekends that are terrible.
Probably Masters weekend in Georgia, I'm imagining.
Terrible. Easter, usually great. For whatever reason, unless they're all on the same weekend. But Easter weekend is much better than Masters weekend. July 4th, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, Labor Day, back to school. So there's so many different factors that are involved, and it's slapping a $5 sticker on something that, again, when you are doing your own family stuff or your own yard sale, you look something up using Google Lens. Oh man, this is worth $1,000. No, it's not.
Well, and will somebody in your market pay $1,000 for it?
Correct.
I mean, there's a huge difference. I would think. My my mom's things are in a smaller town in Alabama versus if the estate sale was actually here in Atlanta. There's just going to be some difference in what people are willing to pay.
Oh, and the market, exactly.
Yeah.
The market's a big difference. And some markets like Alabama and even in the Auburn area and Birmingham are doing better than Atlanta just because we have so much competition in Atlanta now.
Oh.
The estate sale industry has blown up. In 2010, when we started, there were probably 10 other companies that had been around for a while. And then when we came into play, again, we didn't invent the estate sale, but Clay, he definitely made them cool. Yeah. He understood the marketing aspect and got the younger generation involved. And so that definitely helped. Then COVID hit, and every antique dealer in the city, it feels like, thought they could do an estate sale. And so you have 310 registered estate sale companies on estatesales.net, which is the leading website and app to find estate sales in this area. Other areas have Auction Ninja or estatesales.org.
Okay.
But in Atlanta and in the Southeast, it's estatesales.net. But 310 companies. So every weekend, this past weekend, I had 42 estate sales to compete with. So wow. I have to get people in the door, and then I have to get them to buy something.
Yeah, and unlike, a storefront that's open, and they have, that leniency of 5 days a week, and hopefully if they're paying their rent and they're turning coins, they stay open and, they're always there. This is a get it when you can kind of short-lived life.
Right. And that sense of urgency works in our favor.
Yep.
You can't replicate the sense of urgency from an estate sale. You have 2 days, maybe 3, maybe 4, to come and buy this piece of furniture, this piece of china, whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's going to be there in 2 seconds, 20 minutes, 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's a gamble for the customers too. Do they want to wait for a better price and make a gamble it's still going to be there? Or do they want it that bad?
And my mom loved going to estate sales, garage sales, all of it. I mean, if she saw a house on the side of the road, she would stop and be like, we need to go look at their stuff. But as a kid, it used to drive me crazy. But I now find I love going to them because it feels like she is there with me. Because she would love to just be nosy almost to see
the house,
what people had and what kind of collections they had and what they found valuable. And of course, if she could find anything to add to one of her collections. So you meet with the family, you get the temperature of everybody, and you say, okay, we're going to do an estate sale. Is there any point in time when you go through, as we do now sometimes when you're going through your closet, that keep, toss, what's sentimental? Do you ever say, okay, we can just toss this? Is there anything right now that you're seeing that people think has a lot of value but just really doesn't? Or
chipped china.
Okay.
Or cracked china, just because it says Minton on the back, or Copeland.
Yep.
Or even, Royal Crown Derby is the best. Or even Fabergé.
Yeah.
We had a chipped piece. People don't want it.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay for a broken china. Which, to some people that would be logical. But to somebody that's attached or thinks, oh my God, I paid $200 a plate.
Right.
Well, it's chipped.
Yeah.
I can't help that.
Yeah.
Beanie Babies.
Yep.
We had a client who was thrilled. Is in Atlanta Country Club, just thrilled about how well the estate sale went. And at the end, he was like, hey, real quick, got to know how the Beanie Babies do. And I was like, God. And I remember I was like, going to retract his name. They didn't sell. He's like, what? What'd you do with them? We'll take them back. I had to call the charity.
Take them back. Oh.
I had to call the charity and get the tubs of Beanie Babies that didn't sell. But he thought, and a lot of people, I probably have 3 or 4 clients a year ask, oh, I'm not sure if these are worth anything. I think some of them are. That Princess Diana Beanie Baby. And
my mom has one of those.
I don't know if you remember, there was this whole scandal about that.
I think there was a Netflix documentary made about it.
Yeah. Well, that's real. And that has still artificially inflated the Beanie Baby market.
Yeah.
And so there's still listings on eBay for like $5,000 for a Princess Diana Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
Or there's a typo here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's good. That's good to know. So if people are listening,
we sell them for like $2.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when kids come, if they love them, it's like, all right, here you go. Give me a quarter. Let's learn about negotiation. You give me a quarter.
I love that.
We'll learn about taxes later.
Yeah. That's awesome. So let's say someone is listening and watching, because we have people listening and watching all over the country. How can they find a reputable person who they can work with? And how do they go about noticing any red flags? Like, what would be a red flag for you if you were looking to hire somebody?
A red flag for me would be, are they also a reseller?
Oh, how do you find that out?
You got to dig.
Okay.
But that's not always a red flag. There are very reputable companies. There's the largest company in Atlanta. They are very vertically integrated, but that is not a red flag in that situation.
Okay.
But I will say for the smaller estate sale companies, I have nobody is a reseller on our staff. Nobody has an eBay storefront. Nobody has a booth. We don't own a warehouse. It is not my stuff. I would not be insured if that was the case.
Okay.
But it can be a red flag because there are companies that will just price things exorbitantly high. $100 for a Beanie Baby or $1,000 for a Beanie Baby.
Knowing that it won't sell.
Just so at that point, at the conclusion of the estate sale, they get rid of everything. Mm-hmm. And then they go and sell it in their booth for 100% profit. Mm. Or their store or their online store.
So that would be a good question to ask, I would think. Mm-hmm. You can, even if you have to dig, you can just straight out say, are you a reseller?
Right. Are you a reseller, or is anybody on your staff? Another one would be, how many estate sales do you run in a weekend?
Okay.
That's not always a red flag, but it's good to know, because you need to know, is this the A team that they're bringing? Mm. Or is this the B team or C team? Are they going to have 100% dedication to my estate sale? Or are they going to be splitting up their resources? Mm. Are they, how much effort and time do they care? Or is there a bigger and better estate sale that they're going to be spending their time at?
I love that. I imagine too, you probably have a contract that you present.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So if the attorney in me says, if somebody doesn't have a contract that looks legitimate and that has terms and explains everything, then that would be a red flag too.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like as an attorney, that's an obvious thing, but I know that there are people listening that maybe they wouldn't think about that.
Well, no,
but I
that's
think
a good
that way.
point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely a red flag. If they don't have a contract,
run. And by contract, we don't mean 2 pages that says we're going to show up on this day and it's going to be more robust than that.
It needs to explain what will be done and how not every single minute detail needs to be explained as far as the process, but in general, the process should be explained. And especially what happens after the estate sale. Are you going to be left dealing with their mess?
Okay.
I'd say...
Is that a negotiated point? Or
it can be.
Okay.
I would say 60% of estate sale companies in the Atlanta area, after the estate sale is complete, they're gone. Mm. They will give you a list of charities to call. But again, Atlanta is so inundated with estate sale companies, estates, and stuff. Mm-hmm. Charities aren't coming to pick stuff up anymore. They'll come and pick and choose what they want, but they're not going to take everything. So how much work is it going to be on the back end for you?
Okay.
And how much time are you willing to put into it? There are a few turnkey services. We are one of them. Mm-hmm. So my competitive advantage is that we have partnered with a charity, and our partnership is almost a decade strong. And they will come and they take whatever did not sell at no additional cost to the family.
Wow, that's incredible.
So again, it's a turnkey. It's a win-win-win for everybody because there is always stuff left over. But that whatever's left over, the charity comes and it's a men's addiction recovery program. And so they take it to their thrift stores and 100% of the proceeds go and help them through their recovery journey. And so it's not just, even if, the table doesn't sell, it doesn't mean that it's not going to sell or it's not going to help somebody. It's going to be helping save other lives.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what do you think? I want to I always like busting myths, and we might break some hearts. You probably already broke some hearts telling people that their collection of Beanie Babies is just give it to some children. But what do you think is the biggest myth about estate sales that you want to bust?
That they're dead. Estate sales are only for people that are dead, and that you're going and pilfering through dead people's stuff.
Like this weekend, I know you're doing one. How did you title it? I thought it was so clever.
I think it was Modern Eclectic.
No, but you called it...
the Living Estate?
Living Estate Sale, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really... So it's for somebody who... It sounds like, from reading the description, they're downsizing and they're doing a little work for their family before it's left to their family.
Right. And they picked up...
Sounds so kind.
Moved to Spain, living out their dream, but he's an artist, and he took the art that he himself loves, but the vast majority he left for me. I was like, do whatever. And in his case, whatever doesn't sell, the higher end stuff I will take to auction. And then the charity will come and take whatever else.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then the keys are, when we're done, after the estate sale and the charity comes and auction comes to pick up the few items, 2 days we'll be done and it'll be ready to be cleaned, ready for the next homeowner.
So it sounds like, I have a lot of friends in our age range and they have parents and they want to have those hard conversations. It sounds like doing a living estate sale while they're still here, if they can part with stuff, if they don't have Miss Sharon's mindset and they're able to part with stuff, might be a really kind gift they could give to their children to sort of start helping with that they're not burdened with all of their stuff.
Yes. And I found that my clients have been more and more apt, because it's a very hard conversation to have.
Yeah.
I
started off gentle and then I was like, Mom, what are we going to do with all these cookie jars? And she's like, I don't know. You're going to have to decide.
It's probably easier for me because not everybody's into estate sales, but my best friend is in Alabama, and she had to have a conversation with her mom, and she was like, Mom, Sarah does estate sales. You should come. She does all these estate sales. They're alive. They're just moving. She didn't say, oh, they're moving to a 55 and up community.
Right.
Oh, they're moving to wherever. But it is a way, and I think if it's done the right way, it can bring peace.
Yeah.
And it's a way of seeing, the beloved Beanie Baby, the beloved cup and saucer, cookie jar, whatever it is, find a new home, and knowing that somebody else is going to love it maybe 10 times more than you ever did. And so getting to see that process, yes, it's hard to downsize, but knowing that stuff is going to a better home, a good home, or worst case, you're helping a group of men through their journey of recovery. Why not?
So how do you work with somebody's mindset who it's just all hard for them and it's mom stuff, and they have that guilt, like they don't love it. I have a perfect example. Before my mom passed, she had an antique piano, and she was insistent that antique piano be brought all the way to Alabama and here to Atlanta. It's the piano I played on, but I didn't want the piano because it didn't make sense in our house, and also there were just a lot of reasons. And so She and my dad made the decision once we finally had about 100 conversations about this piano to donate it to an assisted care facility. And I hear that it's well loved and played a lot, and that's wonderful. But I had a lot of nights where even though I didn't want it, there was not space for it, but she wanted me to have it so much. And I had a lot of guilt with setting that boundary of saying, no, mom, no, mom, no, mom. What would you have told me to kind of help me through that in that scenario? Because I know there's people listening who they're like, I don't want the thing, but I feel bad just giving it to random people.
Right. I would have told you, would your mom have wanted you to have those sleepless nights? Mm-hmm. Or would she want you to have the memory? Yeah. And you can make new memories. You can make new memories with that SPO jar. You can make new memories with that set of china. If she would have known how much angst it brought you and a burden, I doubt she would have had that for you.
Yeah. And even now, hearing that it's being played every day and it's helping, I think it's in a place where it's for people specifically who have memory issues. And so music is a way that they can work with their memory. I have so much joy knowing that piano is being used in that way every day.
Oh, absolutely.
And here it wouldn't have been played probably wouldn't have been played every week. Yeah. I mean, truly. So this has been so helpful to me. And I know so helpful for listeners. Before I let you go, though, every guest, I do the fabulous 5 questions. It's a lightning round. So whatever comes off the top of your head, you can swear, you can be funny, you can be serious. But I love hearing from other people how they tackle these questions. So talk about life lessons a lot, and stuff holds memories. But what is a lesson that your mom or your grandma or maybe even your aunt that you mentioned told you that you think about a lot that just really stays with you?
Wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which fills up first.
I love it. That's so good. So in your dark moments when life has gotten loud, things have not turned out the way you thought they should, what holds you together besides caffeine and dry shampoo?
There's nothing quite like caffeine on an empty stomach, but I would say honest to God, managing the chaos of somebody else's life that's what holds me together.
Oh, yeah.
That's like it's a stress relief for me too.
I can totally see that, because when I have a big agreement I have to write, it really feels good because I can make that agreement perfect. I can control that.
Exactly. I can control how I do somebody else's, how I arrange somebody else's chaos in their chaotic life and their state. But my own,
Yeah, I love that. That looking outside yourself to find comfort and how you can help somebody else is always something that can bring you comfort.
It's definitely like a post-trauma mechanism, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the therapists are going to get all the money over that one, right?
Yeah.
So you deal with precious things all the time. What is the most sacred thing in your home that if something happens, besides the dogs, that you're grabbing on the way out?
It would be my little jewelry box. I have a piece of jewelry from every person in my family that has passed, and a few pieces that my mom has given me. If I'm not wearing it, that would be.
I love that.
Yeah, I love jewelry, but it's something that I feel like I can always. I don't have children, but I can pass on to my nieces too.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you're asking God or whatever you call God, the universe, one question and you're getting an answer, it can be of the day, it can be timely, or just a big question. What are you asking?
How can you best utilize me today?
That's so good. And you live that by the work you do.
Every day, and it's not always the easiest question to ask, because then I'm stuck in Atlanta traffic and I'm like, really? This is what the fuck I'm doing today. But this is what you needed me for. But it is a very powerful question. And when you can actually totally relinquish yourself to God or the universe or whatever, how can you best utilize me and the gifts that you have given me today? It can be transformational.
Well, I'm so glad you chose to be here today and use your gifts and help people, because you've helped me answer some things I had in my head. And I know there are people listening. I mean, I love going to estate sales, but I learned so much from you today. So you have used your gifts. You're done for the day, girlfriend.
Conquest, yeah.
So the last one, when you are done for the day, you've had a day, nothing has quite gone right. What is your ride or die swear word, phrase? What are you saying?
Fuck.
Yeah. So versatile.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's my second favorite F word. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here.
I appreciate you.
And sharing with people that their stuff tells a story, but it's not who they were. And that's something I'm learning to figure out myself, is that my mom was her collections, and there are some things that will come here, but that it's okay if other people love it because she loved it too.
They can be a part of that story.
Yes.
The story isn't over.
I love that. That's what I tell people a lot about this podcast is it's a way that I keep her alive, that her story continues by me sharing stories about her and learning from other people. And since she's not here for me to ask questions to and pick her brain, I can ask it from other smart women. So I love that.
Call me, text me anytime.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And tell people how they can follow you on Instagram, because I love your Instagram because I'm seeing all the treasures, and being a busy mom, I don't have time always to come out to all those estate sales, but it feeds that, like, let me just see what's going on. Let me just scroll. So tell them how they can find you.
On Instagram, I'm Sara with no H, Sara Sells ATL. On TikTok, I'm Certified Estate Sales. Okay. And you can find our upcoming estate sales by going to certifiedestatesales.com and then looking at happening now. So,
okay. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sounds good. That's it for today. You can ache for who you were before everything changed and still become someone new. Grief and growth sit at the table, often passing notes when we're not looking. This tea, this time, this space is part of your healing, and it's part of mine too. You're not broken, you're just brewing. And besties, we do not gatekeep around here. So if you learned something, heard something that you think my girlfriend needs to hear, share this episode. Follow, rate, and review, and come back here next Tuesday. Your seat at the table will be waiting. Follow along on Instagram at How Do I Do This Pod, and on YouTube at How Do I Do This Pod. DM me on Instagram and tell me what kind of grief you're holding right now. Seriously, I'll read every one and will probably be the person to respond back. Tell me what you have tried that you think might help me. I'm open to trying anything that's not illegal. Your story might find its way into one of our future episodes.